is the, well, you pronounce that because I don't want to sound rude, but yeah, that is the name of the company that sells this FHD, Full HD body cam. And FHD does stand for Full HD. That means 1080p for the rest of us. This is a body camera and trail light, and it's got 3-in-1 function: lighting, warning, and shooting. And this is just awkward English. That by lighting they mean it's a flashlight. Warning, well, I guess it's a warning or a signal light. And shooting, they mean that it is a camera. So let's look at what's inside, though. And I want to thank, well, the name of the company for sending this out to me to test and evaluate. So we have the unit itself here, and we have a USB-C cable to charge it up with. We have a lanyard, and that fits onto this little loop here. It's a little too small to... Oh, okay, so this is what they mean by clip-on. I thought they meant that you could clip on a carabiner to this, and I was thinking this is a little too small. But no, the actual unit itself clips on. It's a two-piece, kind of a U, and you presumably will clip this onto your backpack or onto a pocket or something. So interesting. It has a little bit of give, but doesn't, you know, it just sort of relies on the tension. So hopefully you'll find some piece of equipment that is just the appropriate thickness to clip that on, and it'll stay on. I was kind of assuming by the name that there was some sort of a spring-loaded clip, but no. So it's a camera or light in two parts, and I presume that the rear is your battery pack and the front is all of the camera electronics. There is a silicone panel here, and I think, yes, you lift it up and you get a USB-C port to charge it with. You have a reset. Yes. Here is a reset key, or otherwise basically a glorified paperclip. You use that to press a little button that's recessed in that hole to reset the unit. And there is a transflash, a micro SD card that you can put into that little slot there. And actually, let's keep that open because we're going to have to charge this up in a bit. But let's do that next, actually, and see how this thing charges. And okay, while it's charging, let's take a quick look at the instruction manual. You should always read your instruction manual, and this is all in English, so that's helpful. Now, the unit blinks red while it is charging, and it will stay on when it is fully charged. It has two buttons on the front panel here. The lower one is your light, your flashlight control, and the top one is your camera control. And we'll try that out in a bit after I put in a micro SD card there. But you turn it on by pressing the button, and it is pretty bright. And we'll measure that in a second. But you'll have 3 brightness settings: high, medium, and low, and the fourth press turns it off. Interestingly, if you press it, keep it pressed down, it goes into the warning mode, and it flashes red and blue. Now, I'm not sure exactly what you're warning off with this, because it is rather small and dim to be using this as like a warning signal if you were had car trouble. I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of having these blinking lights are. I would think that if you really wanted to signal and have a warning, you'd blink the brighter LEDs in a slow strobe, instead of these really dim red and blue LEDs underneath here. But maybe you have an idea as to, you know, what kind of utility this actually is. Interesting. I'm just kind of at a loss for figuring out exactly how to use that. So leave me a comment if you have an idea. All right, let's turn that off. And let's just check out and see how bright these LED emitters are. Alright, so I've had this unit on for well over 2 or 3 minutes to warm up and stabilize that battery. So let's put it into my highly scientific lumen meter here and get a reading. And I am seeing 4400 lux. So let's do a calculation here, and we're getting about 176 lumens, you know, give or take. So that's how bright it is at its brightest high setting. Okay, we have the unit fully charged overnight, and to turn it on, for the camera, you press the top button there, you give it a tap, and you'll see that it momentarily flashed. Now, when you first insert an SD card into the slot and it formats, it will blink red and blue until it formats the card. Now, you see it blinking blue, that means the camera is actually running, and it will blink the entire time the camera is on. You can turn this feature off. It's in the little text file. One of the options is LED off or on, and you can turn this off if you want to be a little more discreet. But to be honest, unless you're wearing a white shirt, it's not all that discreet. You basically, you can clip it onto your clothes, like a sweater or what have you, but it's pretty obvious that you're wearing a camera. If your intention is not to call attention to yourself, then this may not be the ideal camera to use for that. But even with the LED off, you can see it's pretty obvious that you're wearing something. But it is fairly small, and I mean you can do some things to mitigate that. It is a little more discreet if you're wearing it thusly, but most people will be wearing this out in the open, and it's also intended to be a work light, so you can press the lower button to turn on your LED lights, and yeah, it lets you work hands-free, but unfortunately, because of the shape of your chest, you are sort of casting light upwards a bit. So you can wear it on the outside of a jacket. You'd probably want to put it on sideways there to clip it on. And surprisingly, it bites in. It's got two little bars that function as teeth on the back half of this, so it does hold surprisingly securely on a jacket, or in this case a vest. And of course you'll be filming sideways, but you can make some adjustments post edit to fix that if you want it, if you want a landscape format. But then again, a lot of people film stuff with their phones and they do it vertically now, so maybe that's perfectly fine. But you can also kind of rotate this so you get more of a vertical view of things. So there you go. If you can tap the camera button briefly, and it will be in standby mode, not recording, and you can turn it on again, and it will start recording another file. Now, from what I understand, this records in 5-minute chunks, so each of the files will be a maximum of 5 minutes long, and every 5 minutes it records in a whole nother segment. But we're going to test out the actual camera and recording function in a bit, but I just want to show you some other ideas for wearing this. Okay, and finally, a backpack. This is advertised as far as their materials, their packaging, as being a camping or hiking camera. So yeah, it does very well work as that. Of course, you could clip it onto the clothes you're wearing, or you could clip it onto your backpack. Now, it depends, of course, what kind of straps you might have on your backpack. Mine do not have vertical. Mine have vertical. It doesn't have horizontal straps. So if I were to clip it on, it would be recording sideways, as you can see. But most backpacks, serious backpacks for hiking and trekking, even day packs, will have a chest strap. So this is I'm just going to use this as a proxy for a chest strap. You could clip it onto your chest strap, and that would probably be your ideal location because it is horizontal and it is fairly straightforward in its angle. This has a number of places and utilities for camping, and of course you can use this as a light. So it has that feature as well. Okay, I'm sure this is what you really want to see. This is the actual footage from the camera, and I'm wearing it on my t-shirt, just clipped on to the collar there. And you can see what this looks like in the middle of the day here. And as I round the corner here, I'm going to just start jogging here so you can get an idea of what action looks like if you're wearing this, either if you are jogging or if you are going down the trail in a mountain bike, what kind of footage you could expect to get here. And as I round the corner here, you can just get an idea of how well it can capture people's faces, or how well it can't capture a lot of details with people around you. Now the file it outputs is in 1080p, but the resolution looks way lower than that. This is very typical of miniature spy cams that I've reviewed in the past, and I just want to give you an idea of what you could expect to get if you're wearing this. So this is what it looks like at night using the camera. I'm in a mall parking lot. Low light capture is not that great. There's somebody walking by with a stroller. You really can't see them very well. If you turned on the flashlight, yes, you could probably get better footage of people around you, but again, you're calling a lot of attention to yourself with a flashlight, and you're also reducing your overall battery life because you've got those emitters going on. With the unit fully charged, the manufacturer claims that you have 3 hours of runtime with just the flashlight on high, or 5.5 hours with just the camera, or 2 hours with both the camera and the flashlight. Alright, so the body camera, what do I think? Well, before I get started on that, I just want to ask you to please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Not only does it help me out and this channel out, but it helps you out because you're taking control of the algorithm and telling it the kind of content, the kind of videos you like to watch. So you'll start seeing more videos of this kind, or even more of my videos than you would normally, instead of whatever is the most popular video on YouTube, unless you're into K-pop. Anyway, so yes, the camera does work. It leaves a little bit to be desired in terms of the detail and the resolution you're getting with the footage. It is 1080p, so they are absolutely correct in saying that it's full HD, but the image almost looks like it's upsampled from maybe 720 or even 480. It isn't terribly sharp, so I don't think you'll be replacing your GoPro anytime soon. That said, this is probably going to be retailing for less than a fraction of the cost of a new GoPro. Don't quote me here. I think it's going to be retailing for about $50, even less than that, maybe even less than $40. But again, I don't know what the price is by the time you watch this, and with inflation the way it's been, who knows. But anyway, this I'm sure is going to be a fraction of the cost of a new GoPro. So in that respect, this would be an ideal camera to bring if you are in a high risk kind of activity, like going through rapids or ice climbing or something like that, where you're getting jostled around, and very likely a GoPro might get ripped off out of your gear, and who wants to lose anything that expensive? This is I'm not going to say disposable, but certainly you're not going to cry as much if you lose one of these. But maybe that's the application that this camera is ideal for. If you have an idea of who or what kind of activity this kind of camera, this kind of secondary flashlight would be great for, please leave me a comment. Anyway, thanks again for watching. You be safe out there. Moondog out. If you enjoyed this video, please share it on forums, Facebook, Reddit, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, MeWe, whatever social media you're on. And if you want to see all of my videos, check out moondogindustries.com.